A Kung Fu punch is like an iron chain with an iron ball attached to the end, and it go whang, and it hurt inside.
Bruce Lee was a true legend. His martial arts prowess and philosophical insights resonated with people worldwide. Even though he passed away at a young age in 1973, his legacy endures, touching even those of us who weren't alive during his time. While Bruce was multifaceted, it was his martial arts skills that really captivated audiences. Some even went as far as to suggest that he was superhuman. In this discussion, we'll delve into 10 pieces of evidence that hint at the possibility of Bruce Lee's superhuman abilities. Join us as we unravel the mysteries behind this extraordinary martial artist and movie star. Number 10. Two-finger push-ups. Bruce Lee. The name instantly triggers an image of an unstoppable martial arts dynamo with unparalleled skills and magnetic charisma. Lee's legend continues to thrive, not just because of his amazing martial arts prowess or his charming on-screen performances, but also due to his extraordinary physical feats. Among these astounding achievements are the two-finger push-up and the one-thumb push-up, exercises that demand an extraordinary level of strength, balance, and focus. Even well-trained athletes find these stunts incredibly challenging, further underlining Bruce Lee's exceptional capabilities. According to historical records, Bruce Lee was capable of performing a staggering 1,500 push-ups in a single stretch using both hands, but the jaw-dropping statistics don't stop there. He could do 400 push-ups on one hand, 200 on two fingers, and a mind-boggling 100 on just one thumb. Such extraordinary figures place him squarely in the pantheon of some of the most physically gifted individuals in history. Lee publicly demonstrated his two-finger push-up prowess in 1964 at the Long Beach International Karate Championships. He even showcased his ability to perform a one-thumb push-up with both hands in a photographed session. His exceptional achievements have inspired countless others to try and replicate his feats, but to date, no one has succeeded in matching these records. A word of caution to those intrigued by the two-finger push-up: this exercise is not meant for beginners. Without proper training and technique, you risk severe injury to your fingers and wrists. It's an advanced level workout, and performing it accurately requires engaging every muscle in the body with a particular focus on the core, chest, shoulders, triceps, and forearms. To do a two-finger push-up, you balance your body on the index finger and thumb of each hand, keeping your elbows close to your body and maintaining a straight back. From this position, you then lower your chest to the ground and push back up to the starting position. Sounds tough, doesn't it? Well, it is. But the benefits of this exercise are as impressive as its difficulty. For starters, it enhances strength and endurance while boosting coordination and flexibility. But the advantages aren't just physical. This exercise can sharpen mental focus as well. Challenging the nervous system, it stimulates the production of growth hormones. So, the next time you think about push-ups, remember Bruce Lee's incredible feats. They offer a shining example of what the human body is capable of achieving with enough determination, discipline, and training. But remember, these exercises aren't for the faint-hearted or the inexperienced. They're the stuff of legends, just like Bruce Lee himself. Number 9. Dragon Flag. All right, get ready for a deep dive into the thrilling world of the Dragon Flag exercise. This isn't your average sit-up or plank. We're going to delve into a high-intensity workout move that can help transform your core into a powerhouse, a move that was loved by none other than the martial arts legend himself, Bruce Lee. First off, a little backstory. The Dragon Flag, as you may have already guessed from its fierce name, is no ordinary exercise. It's in the upper echelons of core strengthening exercises. It's a Bruce Lee special, one of his personal favorites. Here's the scoop. You'll need a flat bench or a stable object that allows you to extend your body while holding onto it. Start by locking your arms in a position overhead. If you think about it, you're going to become a human flag. Your arms will become your flagpole, and the rest of your body, rigid and strong, will be the flag fluttering in the wind. Next, bring your legs up, as if you're doing a reverse crunch. But here's the tricky part. You need to keep your body completely stiff, from your shoulders to your toes. That's right, no bending at the hips. Try to keep those toes pointed too, It's a small detail that can make a world of difference in terms of alignment and balance. Once your body is in the air, your next challenge begins: the descent. Lower your legs slowly and with control. The only parts of your body allowed to touch the bench are your upper back and shoulders. Hover above the bench as long as you can, and then rise again. Keep going until you can't maintain your form anymore. That's when you know your workout session is over. The dragon flag is a test of strength, balance, endurance, and discipline. It's an intense exercise that demands a high degree of athletic prowess and should only be attempted by seasoned exercisers. But it pays off. This bad boy works just about every muscle in your core, making you a formidable athlete, not to mention bestowing upon you enviable abdominal definition. Bruce Lee was a master of the dragon flag, and it's no surprise why. He had extraordinarily strong abdominal muscles, coupled with a low body fat percentage, which made his abs stand out in stark relief. But his training didn't stop at the dragon flag. His fitness regimen was as varied as it was rigorous, including sit-ups, leg raises, side bends, twists, and crunches. Beyond these exercises, Lee also practiced martial arts, a discipline that promotes not only physical strength but also speed, agility, and flexibility. His superior fitness level was a testament to his dedication to his craft and his rigorous workout routine. In other words, he didn't wake up one day with the ability to do a dragon flag. It was the result of years of hard work, practice, and discipline. Number 8, one-arm pull-up. All right, brace yourself, because we're about to dive deep into the realm of a challenging and downright impressive exercise by Bruce Lee, the one-arm pull-up. This exercise was, and still is, a testament to his remarkable upper body strength and stamina. Not only could he perform this exercise with each arm, but he was also known to switch arms in mid-air, a feat that requires an enormous amount of strength, balance, and coordination. So, just how many of these one-arm pull-ups could Bruce Lee do? Well, according to some reports, he could do more than 50 in a row. Let that sink in for a moment. More than 50 one-arm pull-ups, one after the other. But Bruce's proficiency didn't stop at sheer numbers. He was also a master of variation, performing this exercise with his thumb facing him or away from him, his legs crossed or straight. And as for location, nothing was off limits. Whether it was a door frame or a tree branch, if it could support his weight, it was fair game. One-arm pull-ups are not just a physical workout, they're a mental one as well. They require focus, determination, and discipline. For Bruce, they were an embodiment of his approach to martial arts and physical conditioning. Remember that famous Bruce Lee quote? "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." Well, one-arm pull-ups were Bruce Lee's one kick. This was the exercise he practiced, perfected, and performed with an almost monk-like dedication. Whether you're an athlete, a fitness enthusiast, or someone who's just curious about the world of physical conditioning, the story of Bruce Lee and his one-arm pull-ups is more than just an interesting anecdote. It's a source of inspiration. It's a lesson in determination and perseverance. So if you're up for a challenge and want to test your own physical and mental strength, why not try incorporating one-arm pull-ups into your workout routine? And even if you can't do them right away, don't get discouraged. Remember Bruce Lee and his dedication. With persistence, practice, and patience, who knows? You might just become the next master of one-arm pull-ups. Number 7, too fast for camera. Bruce Lee's early life was deeply steeped in martial arts. Much like his contemporaries, he spent countless hours perfecting his techniques, transforming himself into a world-renowned martial artist even before Hollywood discovered him. However, what many people might not realize is that Bruce Lee's entry into the movie industry was almost stopped. You see, back in those days, movie technology was still in its developmental stages, and filming an action powerhouse like Bruce Lee presented unexpected challenges. The issue was simple, yet impossible to solve. Bruce Lee was too fast for the cameras. In 1966, Lee got his big break with the superhero television series, The Green Hornet. While the show only lasted one season, Bruce Lee emerged as the undeniable star. But here's the interesting bit. Filming the series proved to be a tricky affair. The technology of the time just wasn't equipped to capture Lee's breathtaking speed and precision in real time. To give you some perspective, today's cameras can shoot up to an astonishing 240 frames per second. In stark contrast, during the 60s and 70s, most movie cameras struggled to even hit 24 frames per second. This technological gap meant that many of Bruce Lee's electrifying fight sequences were lost in translation, as it were. Imagine this: Bruce Lee was capable of delivering 9 punches and 6 kicks in a single second. Unfortunately, the cameras simply couldn't keep up. Producers of The Green Hornet would often end up with footage that depicted Bruce Lee standing motionless while his enemies collapsed around him. It wasn't magic or illusion. Bruce Lee was just that fast. He moved with such speed and fluidity that he was literally too quick to be captured on film. The solution? Filmmakers had to request Bruce Lee to slow down his actions, just so the cameras could track his movements. This particular aspect of his journey shows the exceptional talent that Bruce Lee was. It wasn't just about his physical prowess, but the electrifying speed and precision that defined his fighting style. Bruce Lee was an enigma, a martial artist who was literally too fast for the technology of his time. His legacy continues to inspire, and his contribution to martial arts and film remains unparalleled. So, the next time you watch a Bruce Lee flick, remember that what you're seeing is a slowed-down version of the real deal, a martial arts phenomenon that was too swift to be captured at his true speed. Number 6. His heavy bags. Speaking of Bruce Lee's remarkable prowess, it wouldn't be complete without discussing his custom-built training equipment. During his lifetime, Bruce Lee enlisted the help of a dear friend, James Lee, to create personalized exercise machines. Some of these were tailored according to Lee's specific requests, while others emerged out of sheer necessity due to his extraordinary strength and speed. One perfect example of such equipment is Lee's iconic heavy bag. Now, when we say heavy bag, we're not talking about the standard ones you might see at your local gym. The average heavy bag weighs around 70 pounds, with the bulkier versions topping the scales at 150 pounds. These figures, however, pale in comparison to Bruce Lee's custom heavy bag. Ready for it? Lee's bag weighed an astonishing 300 pounds. If that isn't impressive enough, consider what the bag was filled with. Not sand, not cloth, but metal. That's right, metal. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone fill a heavy bag with metal? Well, for Bruce Lee, it wasn't about showing off or trying to make a statement. He needed a heavy bag filled with metal because anything lighter or non-metallic just wouldn't hold up under his power. Bruce Lee was so incredibly strong that he could literally break a standard heavy bag with his powerful strikes. Stories surrounding Bruce Lee's training often seem larger than life, blurring the line between fact and myth. One such tale that has circulated among martial arts enthusiasts claims that Lee was able to kick a heavy bag clear through the ceiling. While we can't verify if that's true or not, there is a well-documented incident that provides a sense of Lee's incredible power. During one of his training sessions, he reportedly gave a person whiplash simply by kicking a heavy bag too hard. Just imagine the force behind that kick. Reflecting on these aspects of Bruce Lee's training regimen provides us with a fascinating insight into his commitment to martial arts and physical fitness. So, the next time you find yourself staring at a heavy bag at the gym, spare a thought for Bruce Lee's monstrous 300-pound metal-filled bag. It serves as a humbling reminder of his exceptional strength and power, characteristics that made him one of the greatest martial artists the world has ever seen. Whether it was his blinding speed, his superhuman strength, or his innovative training methods, Bruce Lee was, in every sense, a trailblazer who redefined the limits of what is possible. Number 5. Flying kicks. It's time to shift gears a bit and take a look at another fascinating aspect of Bruce Lee's training and martial arts expertise. Yes, we're talking about his feet. Not just any feet, mind you, but the ones capable of landing some of the most impressive flying kicks in the history of martial arts. Bruce was known for his ability to improvise and use whatever was at his disposal during combat. But while his fists were often the stars of the show, his feet held their own ground quite literally. Numerous accounts tell of Bruce's treasured training shield, a staple in his arsenal of training equipment. He'd carry it almost everywhere, not as a protective measure, but as an invitation to a unique kicking experience. The stories go that he'd often invite people to don the shield and then he'd kick them. Sounds brutal, we know. But the degree of power in his kicks was varied, and sometimes he'd even launch people into the air. Speaking of flying, let's chat about one of Bruce Lee's most iconic moves, the flying kick. This was a move that showcased his incredible athleticism and martial arts abilities. Imagine him soaring through the air, a human missile homing in on its target, then landing a powerful kick that could knock opponents off their feet or even break through obstacles. If you've seen his films like The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, Enter the Dragon, or Game of Death, you'll know exactly what we are talking about. As with all his skills, Bruce Lee didn't simply wake up one day with the ability to execute a perfect flying kick. Nope. He trained rigorously, honing his strength, speed, precision, and adaptability. He also meticulously studied the biomechanics and physics of kicking, and he would incorporate elements from a wide array of martial arts styles, including karate, taekwondo, kung fu, and savate, into his training. Beyond the physical aspects, Bruce Lee's flying kick is also an embodiment of his martial arts philosophy, Jeet Kune Do, which translates to the way of the intercepting fist. According to Bruce, martial arts should be fluid, adaptable, and efficient, with an emphasis on using the most direct and effective method to attack or defend. His flying kick exemplifies this philosophy, showcasing his ability to use his body as a weapon and exploit his opponent's weaknesses with speed, power, and precision. So why is all this important? Why should we care about Bruce Lee's flying kick? Because it's more than just a spectacle. It's a proof that when you truly commit to honing your craft, you can reach heights that others can only dream of. The story of Bruce Lee and his flying kick serves as a powerful reminder of what we can achieve when we push our boundaries and commit to continuous learning and improvement. Number 4, catching grains of rice. When it comes to martial arts, whether you're a dedicated fan or a casual viewer, there's a good chance that you've seen the iconic film The Karate Kid. One scene that often sticks in people's minds is the part where Daniel LaRusso tries to catch a fly using nothing more than a pair of chopsticks. It sounds simple, but as young Daniel quickly discovered, it's a task far from easy. Now, hold on to your rice bowls, because martial arts superstar Bruce Lee kicked this concept up several notches. Unfortunately, we don't have recorded footage of this impressive feat, but stories from reliable sources say that Bruce Lee would toss grains of rice into the air and snatch them with chopsticks mid-flight. Yes, you heard that right. Grains of rice. As minute as they are, he'd deftly catch them with chopsticks, a testimony to his almost otherworldly reflexes and dexterity. What was the purpose of such an activity, you might ask? Well, Bruce Lee did this to train his reflexes, sharpening them to an unparalleled degree. Reports say that he was so good at this rice-catching routine that he almost always caught the grains every time they were tossed up. Imagine how fast your hand-eye coordination and timing would have to be to succeed in such a task. It was like his reflexes were wired to respond at the speed of light. What's truly impressive about Bruce Lee's rice-catching drill is that it showcased a level of skill and reflexes that were far superior to any of his contemporaries. Even to this day, decades after his untimely passing, no one has been able to replicate or surpass this feat. It seems virtually impossible, doesn't it? How can a human being possess such swiftness and precision? That's the question many people still ask today. Some even wonder if Bruce Lee really could do this, as the feat seems so far-fetched, so beyond human capability. But let's remember that we're talking about Bruce Lee. This was the man who brought down opponents with lightning-fast punches and kicks, performed one-arm pull-ups like it was child's play, and introduced the world to the beauty and power of martial arts through his movies. So, catching rice grains with chopsticks? For Bruce Lee, that was just another day at the office. This little-known aspect of his training regimen is yet another example of how Bruce Lee went above and beyond in honing his skills. He was always pushing the boundaries, always seeking ways to improve. This mentality, this ceaseless drive for perfection, is what made Bruce Lee the icon that he remains to this day. Number 3, undefeated against all. Bruce Lee was, without a doubt, a superstar, a master martial artist whose reputation for fighting prowess was known worldwide. Interestingly, the 70s seemed to breed a special kind of audacity, leading some rather daring individuals to challenge Lee to street fights. Now you might imagine Bruce Lee, famous for his swift kicks and rapid-fire punches, would immediately rise to the challenge and swiftly teach these audacious challengers a lesson. But the reality was quite different. Bruce Lee understood that true mastery over martial arts was not about picking fights with random passers-by, but about discipline, respect, and self-control. Thus, most times, he would simply shrug off these challenges. However, there were instances when the challengers wouldn't take no for an answer. These rare situations forced Lee to showcase his skills outside the confines of a training dojo or a movie set. Historically, there were 3 verified occasions where Lee accepted such challenges. Each time, his opponents failed to land a single hit. They just couldn't keep up with Lee's lightning-fast reflexes and precise movements. One such notable incident happened on the set of Enter the Dragon. When a challenger insisted on fighting Lee, Bruce responded in a way only he could. He dodged every blow with ease, swiftly maneuvered his opponent against a wall, and immobilized him. But Bruce Lee didn't stop there. Once the fight was over, he picked his opponent back up, not to continue the fight, but to teach him a lesson. Instead of responding with anger or aggression, Lee used the opportunity to impart wisdom and knowledge. Reflecting on these events offers a fascinating insight into Bruce Lee's character and principles. Yes, he was an unparalleled martial artist with jaw-dropping skills, but he was also a man of great integrity, who understood that his abilities were meant for self-defense and education, not to prove a point or to engage in unnecessary skirmishes. Bruce Lee's handling of these challenges further cements his status as a true martial arts icon. His choices reflect the core principles of martial arts: discipline, respect, and self-control. It reminds us that being a martial artist isn't just about mastering the physical aspect of fighting. It's equally about developing one's character, making wise decisions, and always striving to educate and enlighten others. Number 2, one-inch punch. Martial arts is truly a fascinating field. It's a world filled with jaw-dropping stunts and feats of strength that make us question the very limits of human capability. Artists shattering concrete blocks like they were made of foam, leaping into the air with the grace and agility of a gazelle. These feats are nothing short of awe-inspiring. But among all these remarkable accomplishments, one stands out for its sheer power and precision: Bruce Lee's legendary one-inch punch. For those unfamiliar with this martial arts maneuver, the one-inch punch involves Bruce Lee delivering a punch from just 1 inch away from his target. Despite this incredibly close proximity, the impact is so forceful that it could send the person at the receiving end flying back as far as 5 meters. This punch isn't just about its power, though. Its strength lies in its ability to incapacitate the recipient, leaving them momentarily stunned or unable to retaliate. Bruce Lee's one-inch punch has become a celebrated icon in pop culture, earning a prominent place in films like the cult classic Kill Bill. But how does Bruce Lee generate such a great force from such a small distance? There is science behind it. According to a researcher from Stanford University, the power behind the one-inch punch actually comes from Bruce Lee's lower body. Contrary to what you might think, it's not just about a fast-moving fist. To deliver this potent punch, Bruce Lee starts by swiftly extending his knees. This sudden motion propels his hips forward, setting off a chain reaction that moves his shoulder and thrusts his arm forward. Then, in a flash, he extends his elbow, driving his fist toward the target. As the final touch, he flicks his wrist just before the moment of impact, adding even more speed to his punch. By the time Bruce Lee's one-inch punch lands, it's not just a simple jab. It's a symphony of synchronized movements from the most powerful muscles in his body. It's been estimated that the force generated by this punch is akin to a car crash at about 50 kilometers per hour. No wonder his opponents were sent flying in an instant, left stunned and disoriented. The one-inch punch is a testament to Bruce Lee's mastery of his body and his deep understanding of the mechanics behind each move. It's a perfect illustration of the intricate science behind martial arts, where every action is a result of precision, control, and coordination. So remember, martial arts isn't just about brute strength or fancy moves. It's about the perfect blend of power, precision, and timing. And perhaps no one embodies this principle better than Bruce Lee and his legendary one-inch punch, a spectacular showcase of strength, speed, and technique all packed into a single electrifying punch. Number 1. Dislocated a shoulder with a slap. By now, you should have a pretty good idea of the sheer strength and agility that Bruce Lee possessed. His body, while slender, was a well-honed machine, capable of feats that most of us would find unimaginable. But just in case you still have any doubts, let us share with you another jaw-dropping anecdote about Bruce's unmatched physical abilities. Even though Bruce often had to rely on specially designed equipment for his rigorous training regimen, there were still times when he had to spar with real people, like we mentioned before. There was one particular sparring incident that left many astounded. The story goes that Bruce Lee once dislocated a fellow trainee's arm during a session. This wasn't an amateur trainee we're talking about here. This was a seasoned martial artist who, brimming with confidence, decided to spar one-on-one with the great Bruce Lee. But despite his skill and experience, he found himself nursing a dislocated shoulder. And here's the kicker: Bruce reportedly hadn't even hit the guy hard. What many assumed to be a punch that could dislocate a shoulder was, according to Bruce, just a gentle slap. Now, can you imagine the kind of strength and speed packed in that gentle slap? It's insane. This incident, like many others, serves as a stark reminder of why it's not the best idea to get within striking distance of someone as powerful as Bruce Lee. His strength, speed, and technique were unparalleled, and his understanding of the human body's mechanics made him an incredibly effective and lethal martial artist. Now, you might be wondering, how did Bruce Lee become such a formidable figure in the world of martial arts? The answer is simple, yet profound. Bruce Lee wasn't your average Joe. He was an extraordinary individual, a one-of-a-kind talent whose abilities transcended the norms of human physicality. So, as we reflect on the life and legacy of Bruce Lee, let's remember him not just for his jaw-dropping feats of strength, but also for his unwavering dedication to martial arts, his thirst for knowledge, and his ceaseless pursuit of excellence. Bruce Lee wasn't just a martial artist or a movie star. He was a beacon of inspiration, a shining example of what the human body and mind can achieve when fueled by discipline, dedication, and an unyielding desire to be the best. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.